All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young. On this somewhat mild Thursday for early December, we had a little snow this morning. It's gone now. It's not beach weather, but it could be worse. I'll take it. And I have an awesome show tonight. I have a fashion designer from Montreal here. But before we talk to him, got to read these great underwriters, and then we will commence per usual. So we got Sweezy Fence Erectors in Whitman. We got the Barber Shop in Whitman also. We got Lynch's Towing, Auto, Cycle, and Truck Center in Brockton. One number for towing, one number for projects. We got John's Greenhouses and Florist Shop in Brockton. We got Britain Tire Service in Brockton. We got Auto Town Auto Glass installed in Abington. We got Comfort Upholstery in East Bridgewater. We got Dancer's Dream in Whitman. We got Manny's Auto Repair in Taunton. We got Craft Barbering in Pembroke. We got the Gunrunner LLC in Middleborough, dedicated to your Second Amendment rights. We got Doggy Boutique, all breed professional grooming for dogs and cats, run by my great next-door neighbor, Debbie Siddell in Brockton. We got Grant's Rental in Bridgewater. We got Easton Fitness right in the Village Shops in Northeastern. And we got Joe's Diner in Taunton. And I want to thank you guys very much. And on that note, I will now introduce this gentleman here, Mr. Samuel Vartan, I believe.
You said it much better than most people do.
Well, I practice. You know, like I said, I've been to Montreal. I learned the ins and outs and the slants and the straight curves, and I know the dialect a little bit, and I know I took a little French when I was a kid.
Good.
Yeah, but it wasn't. I think it was Parisian French. It wasn't Canadian French.
Yeah, which is way better.
Yeah, it was okay. I mean, it was something.
We call that Quebecois.
I was actually taking. It was a woman and her husband were, they were just starting out at the time. We're talking the late 1960s.
Right.
They just had a baby. The lady knew French. She knew Spanish. She needed a little extra money for feeding the kid and giving diapers or whatever. So she gave French lessons to people.
Nice.
And I was the only one that took the lessons. And at my age,
Really?
it made me look kind of like a creep to the other kids at my school, at my elementary school.
Oh, what they don't
9-year-old kids aren't supposed to be voluntarily taking French lessons. But I don't care. I mean, I wanted culture at that age, and there's nothing wrong with culture. And
Hey, my dad was a linguist expert.
There you go.
He appreciates when young people want to learn languages.
That's right. And now I'm still friends with all those people all these years later that gave me such a hard time back then,
Yeah.
53 years ago, almost to the day. Actually, it was, believe it or not. But that's a show for another day. But we're going to talk about you now. So you're from Montreal, and you're a fashion designer, and I guess you clothe a lot of beautiful women, especially. I see that you have a big following with the models in the area. And I've had quite a few of them on my show, and I'm always looking for more. I love having attractive women on the show, and there's nothing wrong with that. Good for ratings.
Yeah.
But now what I do with every guest, as I try to profile them, find out what they were like. Now, you grew up in Montreal. Let's talk about what your childhood was like, how you decided to get into the industry, and work our way up forward from there.
Yeah.
You enlighten me with some information, and if I see fit to ask more questions, I will.
Sure.
So go ahead.
Sure. Well, thank you very much for having me here, Harrison. I appreciate it.
Thank you for being on time, or even early, even better.
So we'll go a little bit back, just because there's a bit of an ancestry history here. I'm Armenian, proud heritage of Armenian origin, born in Greece.
Okay.
Lived in Beirut, where my father would finish his studies and teaching there. And we moved to Montreal in 1968 at the age of 8. So I grew up most of my life in Montreal.
Okay.
And eventually I married.
Why did you move to Montreal?
Because that was the eventual plan. I mean, we were going to stay longer in Beirut, but by then the Civil War, there were signs of that
really?
happening.
Yeah.
So my father said, we're going to leave earlier, and his brothers and sisters were already here in Montreal waiting for them.
Okay. Interesting.
And that was the ultimate goal, is to come to Canada.
Just for safety, basically.
It was the goal even from the mid '60s. I mean, they said that they told my dad, his brother and sister, go finish your studies, do what you got to do in Beirut, but you want to come to the Western civilization.
I see, right?
Either Canada or United States, and we're already here in Montreal.
Right.
And we came there, and we haven't stopped thanking my dad for choosing Montreal over any other city in Canada, because it is a dynamic city. And I moved to Walpole, Mass, Boston. when I met my wife in the late 90s, early 2000. And
Okay.
we got married in 2003 and we moved
So
here.
she's from here.
Oh, yeah, she's a local girl.
Cool. Okay.
She's Greek. I tease her that she's Greek, but I was born in Greece. I go, I'm more Greek than she is.
Yeah, you're very ethnic people for sure.
Yeah.
I love having that on the show. It's
And I'm
nice
a
to have.
proud dual citizen. I'm proud to be an American, and I'll always be proud to be a Canadian. And
Cool.
and I hope
Just
the
like the
country-
Cooner Man on WRKO. He's a broadcaster. He's from Montreal too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
he comes on before Howie Carr in the afternoon. I don't know if you ever listen to him. He's pretty
I
good.
don't- Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So how did you end up getting in the industry?
Yeah, I don't think I just did a radio show for 1 hour, and it was barely enough time to put the whole story in because the guy just found it fascinating. I basically stumbled onto this.
Okay. Well, I always say everything happens for a reason. Go on.
Yeah, so I obviously I liked the clothing from the start. I grew up in pretty much in music and film and communications, as I told you.
Okay.
I graduated in film and communications.
Where did you go to school for that?
Dawson College. It was and
Is
they
that
had
in
a-
Montreal?
Yeah, and
Okay.
they had a film courses there equivalent to a university level.
Okay.
So it was a good school, and at the same time I was definitely heavily involved in music from young age.
Well,
12.
what did you learn to sing? Play an instrument?
We were singing. The whole family was singing from a young age. So
Oh,
we
cool.
grew up
Okay.
singing in
Yep.
the church, and then we formed our individual bands. I played with my brother John.
Okay.
And that led to other bands, and eventually into very interesting situations in Montreal. Playing live while finishing school.
Cool.
And long story short, a friend of mine, one of the pivotal things that happened that drew me towards that was they said, you know what, we love the way you dress, how you're able to conduct yourself when it comes to dressing. We're about to go on tour.
Okay.
And we're going to go see this designer who is going to be making our tour clothes. We'd love your input on it.
Okay.
That was one thing. They loved what I had to say with the designer, and they loved it too.
But this is before you became a designer.
Oh my
right?
God, yeah.
Yeah.
I still wasn't thinking as a designer. If you told me back then, like one day you're going to be a fashion designer, I go, no.
Yeah, I know.
I like fashion.
A lot of
but I
times
don't-
you never see coming what you're going to
Right.
do. That's true. I know. Same here.
And so the two earliest talents that I've had was voice and drawing. So my drawing skills
Okay.
play a role into helping me able to express myself, my visual ideas for clothing, and especially when it came to the time where I decided that's what I wanted to do.
Okay.
So it helped me to make patterns into a reality, and then eventually another friend of mine said, hey, I'm doing something totally new. Why don't you come over and check out what I'm doing? And I see him, he's got this pattern, he's got fabric laid out. So it was so simple, like
Yeah.
he would put the pattern on top of the fabric, trace around it. He goes, this is the front of the shirt, this is the back of the shirt, the sleeves. He would cut it, trace it, cut it out, and then give it to a sewer that would sew it. So I like the whole process. In fact, I've always loved craftsmanship. I love it when people work with their hands. Like
Yeah.
I could watch a whole video of a person putting a purse or a shoe together, or it's just amazing to watch that.
Okay.
And I liked it. So I said, let me try something here. And I didn't really tell anybody I was going to do this. And then before I knew it, I was running a shop out of my parents' kitchen table.
You were doing what on your parents' kitchen table? You were starting your shop?
Yeah, I was
Wow.
buying fabrics, and I didn't have a big table. Guess where the biggest table is in the house? In the
Probably
kitchen,
smaller
right?
than this one.
No, it was definitely wider.
Oh, it was wider?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But that's okay. What you did it in your house. That's great.
And then that started picking up, and I had fabrics everywhere, and my parents were like, well, what are you gonna do? I mean, this is like, And then eventually, I had a girlfriend that she had a place in a very nice area of town. She
Okay,
said,
still in
"Why don't you bring your
Montreal,
stuff
right?
over?" Yeah, this is
Okay, yeah,
Montreal.
okay.
And one thing led to another. I started making clothes for a local cafe that I used to go to for their
Okay.
waitresses. That
Yep.
led to another order, personal orders. And then this is happening by now it's 1998, so I'm already 38, and I said that I'm not going to go to school for this. I'll just see what I can do, And
Okay.
if anything, whatever money I make from this, I'll use it to fund my musical project or video or film
Okay.
projects. And then, of course, the thing took off. I registered in 1998 the company, and by the time I met my wife in the late 99, 2000, we opened up a studio space, official
Okay.
place in Montreal, and then eventually back in Boston when we moved after we got married.
Okay. Well, now, you met your wife in the United States, or did she come?
She met me on her cousin's refrigerator door.
On the door?
Picture.
Oh, okay. You saw
So
the
that's
picture.
another story. But
Okay.
I knew her cousins beforehand, and then she saw my picture.
That's
and,
sweet.
Yeah, it's a cute story.
It's a very cute
it's a
story.
cute story, and it was very, very fairy tale like almost. And girl meets boy. We talked for about a year on the phone.
Well, I hope that happens for me at some point.
Oh, come on, are you serious? You're single?
Well, I'm single as a shingle and a Pringle.
Is that why you're smiling?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I do have. I actually, I wasn't going to bring this up, but I sort of have a fixation on a young pop diva right now, Olivia Rodrigo. You know the singer. You know who she is.
Which one?
Olivia Rodrigo. She's a beautiful young
Oh, my
singer
God.
who's
There's so
written
many of
some
them.
songs about how she's been done. She got dumped by somebody for another star. She's a young girl. She's only 18.
Oh my goodness.
But I'm a big fan.
Oh,
I have to
nice.
admit, I'm enraptured right now. But again, I mean,
Yeah.
I figured I'd bring that up as long as we're talking about
You know,
it.
it's okay to talk about beauty.
Yeah.
You know, it's just that the world today has gone very slightly uptight. That you have to be very careful how you. Beauty is beauty.
That's
We're
true.
in the business because it was something attracted me to interest in clothing, but clothing are nothing without
Without a person
without a
wearing it, I
beautiful
know.
person wearing it
Yeah.
and carrying it well.
Exactly.
You know.
I know, exactly. All right, well, so you figured out you had a fashion for talent. Are you doing music currently at all, or just?
You know, I still dabble. I still get a chance, like for example, as my audiences know fairly well, that I'm also known as the guy that does probably the most popular like Halloween events. You
Okay.
know? I mean,
Well,
even though
so how did that go this year? That's already a month ago.
no, I have to take a break because in 2017 we went overboard. We went to this huge place. We had a huge. So I did 4 or 5 years at the Liberty Hotel. That became very popular.
Where's that? Is that in Boston?
Yeah, downtown
Okay.
Boston.
Downtown,
right,
yeah.
right on Charles Street.
Yep. Okay.
And the interesting thing about the Halloween events is that it ties me directly to my musical background.
Okay.
So people who know this designer who happened to be also popular with music, he loved music, you definitely saw the references there.
Yes.
Because the guy can actually sing. So after a fashion show based on Halloween,
Yep.
you know, very, very exuberant. I mean, I'm proud to say like it's really over the top, meaning like so well done.
Well, I
that
know those
people-
costumes are pretty extravagant. On the
it's very expensive
know
to
that,
put one of
yeah.
those on. I mean, to my level of what I want to do, I won't do anything like half-ass. It's got to be like
Oh,
all
of
the way or
course.
nothing.
Naturally, you're a
So then the
perfectionist.
show would happen, and then there would be a funeral procession with me carried in the coffin.
A funeral, for Halloween.
Right,
Yeah.
and then out of the coffin comes out their favorite designer, and
Okay.
my teeth, my eyes, contact lenses, and they're like, "What's going on?" And then I go behind the microphone, and we sing 6, 7 songs, and by then the audience is like gone nuts.
I bet they are. Wow.
Because they're like their favorite designer they came to see who's also singing songs and like actually carrying a tune.
Have you
right?
done acting at all? It sounds
Yeah,
to me like
of
you'd be
course.
you'd be good in an opera too, with stuff like
I
this.
love opera. I don't know if I could. I think
Maybe a
I'm
Broadway
good,
show. You ever
I've
done
gone,
it?
of course. I've gone.
Have you done that?
No.
Oh,
no,
you
no,
haven't?
no,
Okay.
No. When it comes to music, it was strictly like I would say stage-wise, it would be like rock music, and of course. I did some acting in some local Hollywood productions in Montreal because, as you know, Montreal is a popular
Okay.
destination for shooting.
Okay, I'm thinking of Toronto. There's a lot of.
Toronto does that too, and so does Vancouver.
Right.
I mean, Vancouver does a lot of TV shows because it's just north of Hollywood, and
Okay.
you know, for a while it was considered.
Well, my cousin went up to who's an actress too. I don't know if you're familiar with Sarah Silverman, the comedian.
of course,
She's
yeah.
my cousin.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and her sister Laura is an actress too. So she went up to Toronto to do a film about right around the time that you began it, I guess, in the late '90s, called Hard Rain or something like that. And it was about a bunch of people smoking weed. So they sent her up to Toronto to do a film, but that couldn't have been one that you were involved in because you were in Montreal. You were in
Oh,
Montreal.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And most of those films I was doing was in the late '80s, '90s,
Yeah,
and
right.
then by mid '90s it was mostly music, and then I was already dabbling with the fashion. And then I worked on a lot of like school productions too that were like
School, like
full
college?
Yeah, full scale
around
production,
here?
Private. No, in
Montreal.
all in Montreal. By the
Okay.
time I came here, I was like full-fledged designer.
Okay, that's right. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I was 43 when I came here.
Right. It's been that long. I know. It's hard to believe. Time flies.
But the two, like, I find that all those elements come together now anyways. Especially when I'm doing a fashion show or I'm doing a fashion campaign, all the visual ideas and the
Yep.
music that goes behind it. So people see that connection. And,
Right.
and I think that's always an interesting thing.
Okay. So how many fashion shows, like a year, do you do? Would you say?
Well, there was a time when I was like, I was asked to do a lot, like
Yeah.
in a lot of hotels downtown,
Yep.
events or whatever, and I needed to tone it down. I think after the 2017 Halloween show, I just didn't do anything really.
It sounded like it
Big.
overwhelmed a lot of people.
Yeah, and I think we overwhelmed the brand too, and I thought we were overexposed. So I said, I need to tone it down. In fact, I didn't do anything until my last huge event was just in October 23rd.
Of this year.
Yes, at the
Okay.
Henderson House in Weston, which was
Okay.
right through the roof. I mean, just an elegant affair, just beautiful.
Weston's a rich neighborhood, I know. Yes.
Oh yeah, you should see this house. It's beautiful. It's a big mansion, obviously.
course.
And that put us right back onto the
Fashion
I mean,
world,
we
yeah.
never really disappeared. In fact, people were saying, "Hey, when are we going to see something?" I go, "When the time comes, we'll do it."
Okay.
So when the time came, we did it. Of course, and then 2020, COVID happened, and everybody went down
Right,
quietly.
yeah, I know. I went on a 4-month hiatus from the show. That was awful.
Yeah, and
no
then we
kidding.
had to. So we focused on the things behind the scenes, like our e-commerce side. We revamped it. We're still revamping it again, I think. But you're always revamping the brand, because you always want to make it up to par to what's happening today.
Right.
And we're focusing on the future.
Okay, so basically you pretty much start your designs by sketching, correct? And then and you have people that do the cutting and the.
I cut all my samples.
Oh, you do?
So in my
Okay.
studio, you'll see a big cutting table where I spread out the fabric.
Is it in your house still, or do you have it?
No.
Okay.
No. It's well, we're actually looking for a new space right now.
Oh,
but
you are?
It's in a
Okay.
studio space.
Okay.
And
Well,
over
where's
there,
your studio currently?
well, it was in Norwood.
Oh,
but
okay.
That's another terrible story. But we are currently now. I have my stuff in storage where I can but I have it set up so I can get to my clothes whenever
Okay.
I need to.
Yep.
But obviously, I can't go on like that because I need to start working on. So within a month or two, we'll find a new
Okay.
place, and my studio is for sampling strictly, and a place for buyers to come see me.
Cool.
So my goal is my hope is to make shopping personally again interesting, especially because what we do is considered high-end luxury goods,
Yep.
which means that they're in specialty boutiques. We work with exclusivity with some places. And really what's happening lately is we're getting interest with the film world and the TV world for people, actresses or hosts wearing my clothes.
Okay, can you give me some examples of
Yeah,
people?
so recently, one of the models that I started her career here, a fellow Armenian girl, Naira Zakarian.
Oh, Nara was on my show. She was incredible.
Yes, that's right, she
Yeah,
was.
5 years ago in
Yeah,
Rainier.
yeah. You should have her with me. You'll have an amazing show, but you'll need an hour for that. I promise you that.
No,
will
we had
be
an hour. We had an hour. Back then we were doing it an hour. And
she's amazing.
She's an amazing actress and model.
I helped her start her career.
I know she's Armenian also.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Well, the ending with the IAN and
Yeah,
well,
that's
her
right.
with YAN because she's actually from that part of the world. The Armenians all have YAN, but Western Armenians have IAN.
Okay, that's the Western Armenian. Okay, that's interesting.
So, and then she had just done a film involving the current Armenian-Azerbaijan situation. It was
Okay.
a- It was a story based around the war there.
Yeah.
And it was called Gate to Heaven, and then they did a premiere here, and obviously she said, let's have you in me in one of your dresses,
Okay.
and that was really a great event. And then I talked with the director. He took my card right away. He says, I would like to consider working with you for future wardrobe.
Okay. How long ago was this?
This was just in
Like this year?
yeah. It
Okay.
was September, October.
Well, just a few months ago then.
Yeah,
Oh,
not too
great.
long ago, yeah.
Okay.
And it's interesting because it's my world that I came from. So again, here I am, dabbling.
It's an epic story.
Yeah,
No question.
yeah. So
Okay.
we're hoping to continue in that trade because it's always interesting to have an interesting actress wearing your clothes because it's such.
Nothing wrong with having any beautiful woman wearing your clothes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very grateful. I've had always a great selection of models who are very loyal to me, who always manage to say yes to a show or to a photo shoot.
Yeah. I was hoping that maybe you could get someone on my show that I've never had on. That would be great.
Harrison, we could do that like this. That's not a problem.
Well,
at
I know
all.
I saw that. I saw that a lot of the models that I'm friends with on Facebook were definitely excited when they saw that you were going to be on with me.
Oh, really?
Oh, absolutely. Well,
Okay.
that's what the plug is for. Like I ask everybody to do.
Nice.
As you can. Well, did you see all the likes we got for it? You got over
Yes,
100.
yes, we did.
Yeah, we got quite a bit.
Yeah.
All right. So you basically you work out. You don't work out of your house now. You obviously
No,
you have a
no.
studio.
No, I mean, I could do some work from my hobby when it's just, communications, on the computer or on my phone. I mean, pretty much
Right.
this is my
Phone-
office.
Absolutely. That's
I love it.
You're traveling
so
your. I
easy.
know your
Yeah.
phone's your traveling office.
You have your high resolution videos, the pictures in there. It's great. But no, I need to go to a space where I can just.
Tell me about the media coverage you've had so far. And you said you've been on TV before and on you just run a radio
Yeah,
show.
I've done. I did a show called Chop Sessions with Sterling Golden, which was a very.
I know who he is.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Yep.
Yeah, and I've done his show before, and then he said, for my season's, finale for a special, I want you one of the guests. So
Okay.
I was very honored for that. I've done Style It Up, which is a video show. I've done a lot of.
What was the radio show you were just on?
Sterling Golden's, which was called Chop Session.
Oh, okay, that
It
was
used
what
it used to be called just Sterling Golden's.
was it a podcast radio show or was it
Yeah,
on? Oh,
yeah, it's going to be airing next week too.
okay, cool. Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. All right. Yeah, well, that's good. I mean, so you're obviously you're making the rounds. Has your fashion? Do you travel all over the country to distribute or to promote it, the different shows around or even the world?
I do focus. Most of my business is like a lot of my audience is between Montreal and New York. I would say.
So pretty much so far in the northeastern corridor
Yeah.
of North America.
Yeah, but I mean, I have a clientele base all over. I mean, I have people like show me pictures. Oh, I'm in Greece and I'm wearing this. I'm like, wow, that's so nice.
Okay, so you distribute your
Of
clothes all
course.
over the world.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and I imagine you get a lot of good feedback from people especially women. But now, do you make men's clothes too, or just women's?
I am wearing one of my men's top here.
Okay.
I don't do it as much as I did in Montreal because
Okay.
men's shopping in Montreal is much different than here.
It is.
Over here they're very
Probably more casual here. I'd much rather-
casual, and
yeah.
because it's an interesting topic that too because the psychology here is like sports is such a dominating factor here. So a lot of
Well, it's still in Montreal too. What about the hockey?
yeah, of course.
Right.
Remember, but I mean, like over there, like you can. I mean, I had just as much men interested in clothing as much as women. Of course, women will always be your main thing.
Right.
But over there, I could sell like jackets, suits, all kinds of things to men. Over here, I do a few tops, and I get some orders, and it's always nice. I love doing that.
Yeah. Did you ever play hocky or growing up?
Oh yeah, when I was a kid, yeah. I
did-
learned to skate the hard way. I had the blisters until I
Yeah,
learned
yeah.
how to skate. Not locally in leagues or anything like that.
Right,
like,
But just-
sports, I liked it, but I always got into
Well, you look
fights.
athletic. You look like you could have.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
I was definitely into health before that. I'm sure a lot of people are laughing when I say that because obviously I've let go a little bit, but I know how to hide it, so that's okay. But yeah, I mean, I was definitely into taking care of myself.
Same here.
Yeah, I was like looking at bodybuilders, and then I realized it's not going to work with fashion because you don't want to look like this because it's never going to look nice. But I just want to be slim and fit.
Right.
So I still have that goal in mind.
You
I
look
wanna
good. I
tone
work
up a
out
bit
every
more.
day, every morning. I figure
Yeah.
at our age, if
Yeah,
we can
you're
work
definitely way better shape than I am. for
Well,
sure.
I mean, I'm a vegan too, by the way.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I do my strictly vegan diet, and I love it because, I feel at 62, I still feel pretty good. I feel better now than
Yeah.
I did at 22.
That's amazing.
It is, yeah, I know.
So if you could claim that, I think that's amazing.
Well, that's true. I claim it, and that's when I became a vegetarian.
What were you like at 22? I mean,
Well,
I can't
22.
imagine you were
Well,
out of
22.
control.
I tried to start getting in shape, but it wasn't until I turned vegetarian that I lost about probably 8 inches on my waistline and gained some muscle tone from work.
Right.
Yeah, again, I gained strength with working out with
Right.
weights.
Amazingly, I don't know why. I know where I get it. It's in my family genes, especially on my father's side. But I'm a brute when it comes to strength. Like I was just at my storage space.
Yeah.
The things that I had to lift to look for things is like I'm sore all over. But I go if somebody filmed me lifting the things that you're not supposed to lift by yourself, I would have probably got shot by my
It
wife.
made you stronger.
Yeah, it does. It
does.
But I am sore because I did some ridiculous things. But the thing is that you always just have to take care of yourself. I think
It is. Yes, you do.
The
I
human
mean,
body is such a beautiful machine.
it is a beautiful machine, and
It
it'll
would be
heal
such a
itself if you
shame
take
to,
care of it.
Yeah, and I'm very hard on myself when I'm not.
Yeah, me
know.
too. I mean, that's why, that's why I try to stay off meds. I mean, I used to
Yeah.
I have asthma, so I used to use meds for my asthma every
Right.
day. I haven't used any meds in 17 years for asthma.
Probably because also you transitioned to vegetarianism, right?
Well, no, it's not that. What I used to do though, my eating habits have changed a lot better.
Right.
I'm a lot better now because what I used to do was eat very little in the morning and have a huge meal at night. And what used to happen is I'd get acid reflux,
Yeah.
and that would cause. I had pneumonia when I was 44. I almost died of it. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Wow.
I couldn't breathe. And that winter of 2003, 2004, and then for years I was taking asthma medicine, which is really expensive. It was also screwing up the rhythm of my heartbeat as well, which is very dangerous.
You know, it's funny. Coming from the culture that I come, food and drink is a very big part of our lives.
It is.
But I think that one significant point in our lives, because we're a huge family in Montreal. When my youngest uncle, my father's brother, died of a relatively young age. You know, I think that shook him up a bit, and he was like, let's just eat smart. Let's enjoy food, but we don't have to overdo it.
Right.
And since then, he was always on top of us. Are you watching this? Are you watching this? So I do that as much as I can. I just remember my dad's face. Who's God bless him.
Well, I know. I eat plenty of comfort food, but it's low. I know what the ingredients are. It's low. I eat olives and I eat smoothies every day, and I eat plenty, and I make. And I also eat fake meats, which are incredible.
Okay.
All right, well, guess what? We're down to the final 5 minutes of the show.
Great.
Yeah, well, I'll just tell you real quick. I went to Montreal in 1977, and at that time, I wasn't a vegetarian. I just took my mother's car up there for the weekend. I stayed overnight. I had a very good tasting steak dinner for $5, and that was, and then I went home. And that was it. That was my Montreal trip. But I did take a walk in a little park in the town of St. Jerome, which I'm sure you're familiar with.
Of course,
It's a beautiful town.
Oh, yeah.
That was my favorite part of the trip, was St. Jerome.
Yeah, the northern Montreal, where all what we call Little Switzerland.
Yeah, the park was really
Montreal
sweet.
north of St. Jerome, becomes mountainous, and that's where our ski region is.
Right. Okay, well, like I told you at the beginning of the show, what I want you to do is look at the camera, give a few shouts out to people, you condense them, and then we'll wrap the show up with my song the way we began it.
Okay.
So go ahead.
Hello to my beautiful wife Kiki and my son Alexander. Here's your daddy here, hamming it up in front of the camera again. To my audiences at large, I can't thank you enough for always being there to support me and the brand Samuel Vartan. You can find us, of course, at Samuel Vartan Collections, SamuelVartan.com, and on Facebook it's Samuel Vartan or Samuel Vartan Collections, and on Instagram at Samuel Vartan. And Harrison, thank you so much. This was fun.
I'm glad you had fun with me. And so that having been said, what I also want you to do is, if you had fun with me, I want you to encourage other people that you know to do my show.
Oh, definitely.
A lot of models, but anybody that has an interesting story to tell, you got my digits now. I have them text me.
Yep.
Call me anytime.
You got it.
We'll set it up. And
got it.
that's it. Now, before we wrap it up, is there anything on the horizon you got going on that you might overlook that you want to mention real quick? If not, that's
fine. By the time this show airs, the following Friday, which will be the 17th, we are doing our trunk show holiday sale at a boutique called At Cozy at the malls at Chestnut Hill.
Great area.
It starts at 7 o'clock. That's going to be a fun event.
Is that the atrium?
No, across the street.
Across the street, got it.
Where
Okay.
Bloomingdale's is.
Yep.
And I'm so sorry to see that place shut down.
Oh, that's right, it did.
Yeah,
Yeah, me
shut
too.
down.
Now
So
that
we're
you
doing
mention
that, and then obviously after that, it's just back to business, photo shoots and working on the website more and more.
Okay, well, you did a great job with me. So, are you ready to wrap the show up the way we began it?
I'm ready.
All right, folks, thanks for watching Topic Time. More great episodes to follow. See you next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Please don't bang the table.
Oh.